All right, so this conversation that we're going to have now, I've got my friend Imron with me, and we're going to talk about software, hardware, and user experience. So before we do that, Ken, jump up here. You're not too late.
I still feel like anything that maybe is still.
Look at you. It's hard to be a celebrity. I know.
How are everybody on the other
Hey, Ken's running. You're good. All right. So this conversation, hardware, software, and around user experience. So that before us, if you're already up, Imran, if you don't mind, introduce yourself.
My name's Imron Hussein. I am the president of Imron Corporation, develops software that manages access control systems, video systems, intrusion systems.
Very nice. Yes, multi-purpose. A lot. So highly recommend you take a look at it. So to kick this off, user experience is another buzzword that we hear a lot about, like big data, AI, the rest. Now, I'm personally excited about that. We talk more about it as an industry because I would say for a long time, we've never really known who the users were of our systems in a lot of ways, outside the admin. And so with that, now that we're using more end users and engaging because of mobile wallets, other things, biometrics, it's becoming even more important on that end. So how do I know what good user experience looks like and what bad user experience looks like? And it could be from a technical standpoint, it could be other processors, whatever. Purposely asking it kind of broad.
Well, I was going to stop and just say that we used to just say user interface, right? Because in technology, we believe that the user interface is everything. And you may think of user experience as a buzzword, but I think it's an appropriate transition, especially in our industry where you've got physical hardware, right? So it's not just how easy it is to use this web user interface, but it's also, installing the hardware, configuring it, the usage of the entire system.
Yeah, so we're not just on the end user, but then the overall how our products work.
I mean, what is good user experience is it, and it may be a little hard to nail down in words. Like I feel like we know that. Well, it's nice that we have had companies that are everything from unboxing, right? They find a way to make the whole thing pleasant. And you feel good about it, it's easy, you're not frustrated, right? So it's like we all know good user experience when we experience it ourselves, and when we're building systems, then we want to apply that so that the people on the receiving end of our products and services feel that way when they use our products.
How do you feel about UX?
So for me, a big part in it is how intuitive is that hardware, it's software. Does it require training? Typically it shouldn't. I remember 15 years ago, access control software, you'd have to go for a week of training. Those days are gone. Today, our cloud-based software, it's all web-based, it's very intuitive. People know how to use a web browser, they shop on Amazon, and that would be my definition of a good UX.
Well, so on that though, I feel like in a lot of ways as an industry, we've relied on the integrator to deliver that, so we haven't had to worry about that type of thing, because that was part of, you went to the 2 weeks, the month, whatever training they went to know how to do it, and because the complexity of the problem, they were seeing value in the person knowing how to do it on that end. So as that changes, what else has to change then? So if I'm an integrator, do I look at good user experience as bad to my business, or do I start to look at it and say I have to go find value somewhere else? Yeah, Imron, you got the fish from last time.
So, training the integrator, typically an integrator, after they've gone through that training, they then have to use your product consistently. Otherwise, they'll forget how to use it. So that's why the product has to be simple enough. If the product is intuitive, if it's simple, then they're saving time, and time is money to an integrator. So I think that they would want it to be easy.
Right, no, I completely agree.
Easy enough? I appreciate that. All right, so if we were to take how do you two work together now, right?
Well, here, let me do it.
What is the relationship?
Yes, but I was going to just as I had a very shared answer to the previous one. It took me a second to think of it. Because one of the challenges is, in our industry, right, we've got hardware vendors, we've got software vendors. My company, we're sort of somewhere in the middle. You've got integrators, dealers, installers, end users. So the number of entities involved with the user experience and that contribute to it is vast. And so, when you ask about integrators, well, you're much better off talking to Imron than you are talking to me, because from where I sit, I have, it gets foggier and foggier the further away it gets. So yes, we work directly with Imron and we try to support him, but I really heavily rely on Imron telling me what he needs, what his customers need. There's a kind of a chain of communication that happens, and have to happen up and down.
Okay, let me ask you that on that end. Since you're all working together, we talk about an ecosystem. Some believe that with these closed systems where they do everything themselves, you have more control of delivering the good user experience. So help me understand how then, by partnering, you all working together, how do you make sure that you're able to play what sounded like you don't want to make it sound like a game of telephone. That's not what you're saying. It's more about collaboration more than the other. But how do you ensure somebody who's looking at how this new world of ecosystem partners, how do we make sure we're still delivering a good user experience if we're having to partner versus do it ourselves?
Well, I think in a world that is so dynamic, if you look at 4 years ago during COVID and we had the supply chain issues, do you really want to be dependent upon one manufacturer who does everything, or on a manufacturer who talks to multiple hardware platforms, who has options? And we went through that with HID. 2 years they couldn't deliver product while we were still getting orders for the product, and we had to pivot and went with Z9, and that gave us options.
Right, so in some ways, vendor choice is actually also an important part. I mean, is that really user experience? In some way, it's indirectly related.
Well, if you can't get something...
Right, if you can't get it. That's a bad user experience is you place an order and you can't get anything for 2 years. That's a bad user experience right there.
So, yeah, and I recognize that there is, I think I would summarize it as, and when we think about user experience, a lot of times we think about the end user using the system, but there are nuances within the user experience along the value chain as you go as a business, and we need to look at all of those that go along on that chain.
Well, I was also going to add that a big part, I think, of what Imron delivers here by having choice also is best of breed technology is available. We like it or not, we are in a multi-vendor industry. This is not Apple and Google here. We have a large number of vendors, hardware and software, and I think it will stay that way for a while for various reasons. And that means that, so that I do think the totally closed, vertically integrated solution is at a disadvantage in our industry. What you want is access to best of breed at every level.
That's exactly. Best of breed is the key words there.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I know this is a conversation we could probably have for many, many hours, but I do appreciate you taking the time to do this and to be here, Imron. And since you already got one, you're not getting another.
Oh, I thought you were going to
I don't know. Actually, I mean, yes. Imron, as an appreciation for being here, the ZK Tech team, they planted a tree in your honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Good seeing you both again.
Seeing you.
No problem. All right, thanks, Deb. Thank you. Thank you very much.